Hello, and I welcome you to UPSC Prelims Chaturya series of Shantha Lakshmi IAS Academy, where we would be discussing daily Prelims MCQs. So let's get started. First question, consider the following seaports: Chabahar Port, Deen Dayal Port, earlier it is known as Kandla Port, then Bandar Abbas Port, then Gwadar Port. Which of the following is the correct east to west arrangement of the above seaports? So we have to arrange these seaports from east to west direction. So let's have a look at the map. Here we have Kandla Port, that is at the Gulf of Kutch in the Gujarat. Then we have Gwadar Port in Pakistan. Then Chabahar Port in southeastern region of Iran. Then we have Bandar Abbas, which is located on Strait of Hormuz, Iran. So this Strait of Hormuz is a connecting link between Persian Gulf and Gulf of Oman. So if we have to arrange these ports from east to west direction, first we have Kandla Port, then Gwadar, Chabahar Port, Bandar Abbas Port. So the correct answer is 2413. Kandla Port in Gujarat, then Gwadar Port, Pakistan, then Chabahar Port in the Iran, then Bandar Abbas Port, which is also located in the Iran, but it is located on the Strait of Hormuz. So this is the arrangement from east to west. 2413 is the correct answer. Option B is the correct answer. So why we have been discussing this question? Because recently Indian Foreign Secretary had held discussions with Iranian Foreign Minister in Tehran on enhancing the connectivity through strategic Chabahar Port. So that's why we have asked this question. So let's look at these ports. Deen Dayal Port, earlier it is known as Kandla Port. It is located on the Gulf of Kutch in Gujarat, and it is one of the major ports in India. Coming to next port, that is Gwadar Port. It borders the Arabian Sea and lies in Balochistan province, Pakistan. Then we have Chabahar Port. So it is a seaport in Chabahar in southeastern Iran. Its location lies in Gulf of Oman. Here it is Gulf of Oman. Its location lies in Gulf of Oman. The port gives access to energy-rich Persian Gulf nations' southern coast. Next, we have Bandar Abbas Port. It is located on the Strait of Hormuz in Hormozgan province, Iran. Strait of Hormuz is a channel linking the Persian Gulf with Gulf of Oman as well as Arabian Sea. This is all about the sports. Next question. With reference to International Labour Organization, choose the correct statements. Statement 1. The standard set by International Labour Organization is non-binding in nature. Second one, India is a founding and permanent member of the International Labour Organization. Which of the statements given above is or are correct? One only, two only, both one and two, neither one, not two. Coming to statement 1, it is correct because the standards which were set by International Labour Organization are not binding on the nature. It is voluntary. Either countries may follow it or may not follow it. It is not binding in nature. So statement 1 is correct. Coming to second statement, India is a founding and permanent member of the International Labour Organization. Statement 2 is also correct. So which of the statements given above are correct? Both 1 and 2 are correct. Option C is the correct answer. So why we have been discussing this question? Because of an article in the Hindu paper where it has mentioned that according to a recent report which is released by International Labour Organization, it has mentioned that nearly 30 lakh workers die every year globally due to work-related accidents and diseases. And among them, the major cause for the death is exposure to long working hours, that is 55 hours or more per week. So exposure to longer working hours was the biggest killer. So coming to the background and some basics about International Labour Organization, it is the only tripartite United Nations agencies. It is tripartite United Nations agency because it brings together governments, employers, and workers' representatives from its 187 member states to devise international labor standards. So it was established in 1919 after the end of the World War by the Treaty of Versailles. And next, it became first affiliated specialized agency of the United Nations in year 1946. It was established in 1999, but it has become affiliated specialized agency of the United Nations in the year 1946. Its headquarters are located in Geneva, Switzerland, and it has received the Nobel Peace Prize in 1969 for its service. What is the structure of International Labour Organization? So it has International Labour Conference. So this conference will set the international labour standards and broad policies of the International Labour Organization. This conference is also known as International Parliament of the Labour. Next, it has a governing body. Governing body is Executive Council of the International Labour Organization. It meets 3 times a year in Geneva. Then it had an International Labour Office. It is a permanent secretariat to the ILO. Then regional meetings of the ILO member states are held periodically. Why? To examine the matters of special interest to the regions concerned about the labor standards. What is the objective of international labor standards? The first one is to promote and realize the standards, fundamental principle and rights at work. Then to create greater opportunities for both men and women to secure decent employment. And another objective was to cover every worker under the social protection. Then to strengthen the tripartism and social dialogue. So India is a founding member of the International Labour Organization, and India has been the permanent member of the International Labour Organization governing body since 1922. India has not ratified all 8 ILO conventions. It has ratified only 6 of them. So India has ratified 6 out of the 8 fundamental International Labour Organization conventions. They were Forced Labour Convention, Abolition of Forced Labour Convention, then Equal Remuneration Convention, then Discrimination, Employment Occupation Convention, Minimum Age Convention, Worst Forms of Child Labour Convention. So these were the 6 conventions which has been ratified by India. Other 2 conventions which are not ratified by India were, first one, Freedom of Association and the Protection of Rights to Organize Convention 1948, and other one is Right to Organize and Collective Bargaining Convention 1949. So India has not ratified all of the 8 fundamental ILO conventions. It has ratified only 6 of them. Coming to some of the important publications of ILO, there were World Employment and Social Outlook Report, Global Wage Report, World Social Protection Report. Next question. Consider the following statements with respect to rat hole mining. Statement 1. Rat hole mining is a method of extracting coal from narrow horizontal coal beds. Second statement. This practice of mining is prevalent in Meghalaya. Third statement. The practice of rat hole mining is banned in India. How many of the statements given above are correct? Only 1, only 2, all 3, none of the above. Coming to statement 1. This is correct because rat hole mining is a method where a coal is extracted by digging into the coal beds from narrow and horizontal coal beds. Statement 1 is correct. Coming to second statement, the practice of mining is prevalent in Meghalaya. Yes, in most of the northeastern states, this mining practice is prevalent. So statement 2 is also correct. The practice of rat hole mining is banned in India. Yes, the National Green Tribunal has banned this particular mining. So statement 3 is also correct. So how many of the statements given above correct? All 3 were correct. Option C is the right answer. We have been discussing this question with reference to a news article in the Hindu. So with the large metal pieces that were hindering the machine drilling in Uttarakhand tunnel rescue operation, so now they have planned to use this rat hole mining technique to drill the remaining few meters. That's why it has been in the news. So what is rat hole mining? So first of all, rat hole refers to a narrow pits that were dug into the ground. that were enough for a person to get into it to descend and extract coal. So once the pits are dug, the miners will descend into it using ropes and bamboo ladders to reach the coal seams. And the coal is then manually extracted using primitive tools such as pickaxes, shovels, and baskets. So this kind of mining, rat hole mining, is more prevalent in Meghalaya. It poses a significant safety and environmental hazards as well, and the mines are typically unregulated. They lack safety measures such as proper ventilation, structural support, safety gear for the workers. The mining process caused some environmental hazards like land degradation, deforestation, water pollution. But this process has been persisted due to economic factors and absence of other viable alternative livelihood for the local population. So the National Green Tribunal has banned the practice of rat hole mining in 2014. Next question. Consider the following statements regarding global navigation satellite system. Any satellite constellation that provides positioning, navigation, timing services on a global and regional basis is a part of global navigation satellite system. Statement 2. Quasi-Zenith satellite system, that is QZSS, is a global navigation satellite system owned by China. So which of the statements given above is or are correct? One only, two only, both one and two, neither one nor two. Coming to statement 1, it is correct because the global navigation satellite system is a satellite constellation where a group of satellites are placed that will provide a position, navigation, and timing services on a global and regional basis to countries which are part of the global navigation satellite system. Then quasi-zenith satellite system is a global navigation satellite system owned by China. So this statement is incorrect because quasi-zenith satellite system is owned by Japan, not China. So statement 2 is incorrect. Option A, one only, is the correct answer. So this has been in the news because recently the Director General of Civil Aviation has issued a advisory circular about the interference of global navigation satellite system in the airspace, and it might pose a threat for aircraft operations because of the global navigation satellite system jamming and spoofing of the signals. So global navigation satellite system is nothing but a satellite constellation that provide position, navigation, timing services on a global and regional basis. GPS is the most prevalent global navigation satellite systems. Then we have quasi-zenith satellite system, which is owned by the government of Japan. So these were some of the global navigation satellite systems that are present across the world. GPS is owned by USA. Then Baidu is owned by China. Then IRNSS, that is Indian Regional Navigation Satellite System, it is owned by India. Then GLONASS is owned by Russia. Then Galileo, it is owned by European Union. QZSS is owned by Japan. So GPS USA, Baidu China, IRNSS India, GLONASS Russia, Galileo European Union, QZSS Japan. So these were the 5 global navigation satellite systems that were present across the world. Coming to next question, consider the following statements. Statement 1. Under the Mines and Minerals Development and Regulation Act, the power to auction 24 identified critical minerals is given to state governments after receiving the consent of Ministry of Environment, Forests and Climate Change. Second statement. The financial incentive up to 45% of the approved cost of exploration is provided for critical and strategic minerals through National Mineral Exploration Trust. How many of the above statements are correct? One only, two only, both one and two, neither one, not two. So if you look at the statement 1, This is incorrect because under the Mines and Minerals Development Regulation Act, the power to auction the critical minerals is given to central government, not state government. So statement 1 is incorrect. Coming to second statement, the financial incentive up to 45% of the approved cost of exploration is provided for critical and strategic minerals exploration. So this statement is incorrect because it is not 45%, it is 25%. So 25% of the approved cost of exploration is provided for critical and strategic minerals through National Mineral Exploration Trust. So statement 2 is incorrect. So how many of the above statements are correct? Neither one nor two. Option D is the correct answer. So recently the Ministry of Mines is organizing an outreach program on the role of government and industry in driving the global action of critical minerals on 29th November 2023 New Delhi. So this event will be attended by the mission heads of various countries as well as representatives of the business in India and other stakeholders. So the Ministry of Mines has made an amendment in the Ministry of Mines Development Regulation Act, which came into effect in 2023, through which the power to auction 24 identified critical minerals is given to the central government. So these critical minerals are very important in the modern technology, like clean technology and economy as well. The examples of critical minerals were lithium, cobalt, nickel, and some other rare earth elements. The exploration activities in India are being reoriented to give more emphasis on the exploration of critical and strategic minerals. The financial incentive is up to 25% of the approved cost of exploration. It is through this incentive is given through National Mineral Exploration Trust. Both public and private sector can use this incentive for the successful discovery of critical minerals. So by this, we are concluding this session. I hope this session was helpful to you. Thank you.